the control. But if you think about it, it's really the sub. Because if they say stop, you have to stop. So they're the ones with the real control.
They're the ones that yell pineapple.
Yeah, it's an oxymoron that nobody thinks about.
Because you have to have like a safe word.
Yeah.
Pineapple. I thought it was Band-Aid. Band-Aid!
It's the bottom one that decides how far you go.
Yeah. Not bottom bitch, but like bottom.
Yeah, just bottom.
Bottom,
just
man.
bottom. Just the dom sub, whatever word you want to use. The sub or bottom is the one that actually decides and has more control because they decide how far you go and what you do and what you don't.
Well, folks, you are tuning into the Pre-Mat podcast. We were actually getting into. I had talked about one of my coworkers who was making homosexual type jokes, and I knew his wife, but some of these homoerotic moments at work that make work worth laughing about. And he was like, "If I'm a bottom, I'm a power bottom," and the thing is, we were talking about dynamics of relationships and shit like that, and subs, and this is the general understanding. This isn't like I picked up a book and like got real deep,
right?
Into
Or we know where the clubs are at.
I actually knew a chick we call a little bit, because she's a little bit of a woman.
I need a meet and greet or some shit with this shit.
She was actually like a friend of hers that she knew from work, and she, different places she's worked at, brought her to this underground sex club. She actually told me it was really nice. Like, this is,
It's like I want to meet. I'm telling you, I want to meet and greet.
But I remind you, she's a woman. It's weird because I don't know if she's straight. She might be, hell, she might be pansexual. But
I'm seeing a lot
she
of that.
She was straight, but what's the best way to describe this? She told us about her girlfriend and stuff, but it's weird because she meets guys that, kind of rev her engine. And it was just kind of wild because she told us about this club, and she was like, you had to have a +1. It was kind of like the rule, which is a good rule. You don't want to have a fucking sausage fest of,
Yeah.
There's a 50-year-old lady with her ass hanging out, some chaps, But she was like, it's really classy. It was hard to get in there, not hard like, got a hard dick to get in there. I meant like it was difficult to get in there. But she said the rules and the people made it worthwhile. And she said she had a nice time. I don't know if that meant doing a line of coke and getting railed by, two loggers,
Yeah.
There's a guy in a banana costume and
whatever enjoyable meant, that's what it was. Whatever that was. We'll just let your mind wander on it.
It was like a banana costume and a guy dressed up like
that is the 5th time you used that fucking reference.
Kurt Angle. Some guy dressed up like Kurt Angle.
You threw the Kurt Angle because I called you on it.
I was like, yeah, and I'm like, I had sex with a woman dressed like a clown. And then I had then I don't know who else showed up and gave me a rusty trombone. You're like,
Jesus,
this is the greatest place ever. You'd be like that sounds awful, and you go there and you're like, ran into the lady dressed up like a clown again.
Yeah.
Apparently she's a great lover.
And apparently it's going to take us an act of Congress to go to Twin Peaks.
Oh yeah. Still working on getting us out there.
Mm-hmm.
Shit happens, dude.
Oh, believe me, I know about that.
Sometimes you split your hand open. Sometimes family members are sick. Some days you're going to plays, and sometimes you're
out at your mom's and doing yard work and
working on a motorcycle that you can never get fixed. Yeah. Anyway, folks, generally speaking, this is General Patrick Flynn. Oh, you like that?
How you do?
And if you haven't known this, I am Matt Freemat, the purveyor of the pervert of the non-profit YouTube channel / podcast known as the
Freemat
Podcast. It's time. No,
It's Vader time.
Yep.
Sorry.
He died. I forgot about
He
that.
He did.
Wonderful stunt man and wrestler. Gentleman.
As from every story I've heard, he really was. He had stinky gear, but he was.
Big mound of meat. Well, anyway, if y'all didn't know this, the Free Mat Podcast, generally speaking, Libertarian Roundtable podcast, I do speak of certain self-help things and other societal ills and shit like that. But generally, Patrick Flynn on Fridays, like that's been, generally speaking on Fridays, we go about libertarian news and we delve into articles and sometimes we
sometimes we just rabbit hole whatever's on our brain.
talk about whores and other
Porn
things.
stars and that whole industry because it fascinates us. It's an oxymoron. We just can't get rid of it.
We were products of the 90s, and we grew up during one of the biggest industry shifts when it comes to the adult industry.
Oh yeah,
And it
Huge.
went from in my lifetime, it went from the beginnings of the VHS to the DVDs and the short run DVD / Blu-ray all the way into the digital, the internet phase. And as you see today, the tail end of the internet phase. A lot of people don't know, what do you mean? I said, it had psychological, matters and the money issue too. A lot of people don't know the industry changed that much, and it's when I use the term entertainment.
Yeah, it is. It is,
And
it's changed.
It's changed that much, but we grew up during a large portion of it, and it became newsworthy, like on major news networks and 30 Rock with
Wasn't Lisa Ann on there?
Lisa Ann on 30 Rock, and people don't even know it. And you had, Lord, you had all sorts of crazy things. You had people in movies, porn stars that were in movies, and people that bought into entertainment venues and mainstream productions and things like that. But anyway, we talk about all sorts of stuff here, all sorts of social stuff, and not the most eloquent in the world, but we roll with it.
God, no, but we have fun, so screw it.
Oh, and by the way, today's beer selection
From Duke Law, it is Sweet Baby Jesus. It
and
is- Go ahead.
chocolate peanut butter porter.
Really, really good. You can taste the chocolate, you can taste the peanut butter, and the porter's at the end.
From your boys at Duke Law Brewing.
I haven't had a bad beer from Duke Law yet. The Dirty Little Freak we saw, it was good. It wasn't as good as I was hoping, but it's still not a bad beer. Duke Law is like one of those breweries that is 0 for 4. That's pretty good for me.
Oh, and by the way, before we even get into it, we've only been 8 minutes. Subscribe.
Hit the little ding ding.
The notification bell, because it helps. And the more we get up there and the more views and people, it's not, look, we want to make money someday. I have no faith in YouTube, but I want to make money someday. I want to shill. I will shill for your product.
Especially if it's in the adult industry. We will have fun while we shill.
I will sell people sex dolls.
I will.
I won't even test them out. I'll just lie and say they're great. It's like I found it behind a dumpster. It's like, oh yeah, you like that?
I might if it was Nicole Aniston's doll. I might.
I put it on a dirty mattress behind.
Or Jennifer White, maybe.
Look them up if you don't know them, guys. I'll probably have to put that in the show notes or something.
Yeah, Nicole Aniston, Jennifer White. There you go. I'll name drop 2 more times.
Today's article is YouTube discriminating against both conservatives and LGBT videos? 2 lawsuits say yes. The subtitle was trying to get the government involved in what sort of videos online platforms promote or hide is going to end badly. And that is from Scott Shackford. Was that the reason?
Oh. I don't even remember.
If Scott Shackford, I think his reason. If I'm wrong, I will put an adjustment in the show notes.
I know it's in the email.
It says you're not likely to find much overlap in content when comparing the YouTube channels of conservative Prager University and the LGBT kink educators at Watts, WATTS, the Safeword, like Watts as in California.
What?
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
As we move on. But they do share a belief that YouTube and Google are unfairly discriminating against them and censoring their content, which they censor a bunch of people's content, assholes.
Dicks.
This is on YouTube. Fucking roll with it. Do it live!
Roll!
And they're both willing to sue in federal court to put an end to it. And it said yesterday a group of 8 LGBT YouTube creators announced a federal class action lawsuit against Google and YouTube claiming discrimination, these are in quotations, fraud, unfair and deceptive business practices, unlawful restraint of speech, breach of consumer contract rights by, among other things, demonetizing videos, ask Steven Crowder, so that they can't make money off of advertising, putting age restrictions on their videos, which I understand that, excluding their videos from recommendation algorithms, thank you, and otherwise making it harder for YouTube viewers to find their stuff and for them to make money off their works. The plaintiffs produced a video and are hosting it on YouTube, explaining their lawsuit. It says it's fascinating how much their complaints mirror those by Prager University, which argues that Google and YouTube discriminate against their content because they're conservatives. In fact, PragerU and these LGBT creators are being represented in their lawsuits by the same firm. Brown George Ross LLP, this Light Limited Partnership, because assholes put every fucking name in a law firm in the title. They just call it Brown and Associates. Brown, Flynn, Aardvark, Johansson, Glass Bottle, and Dickwad. At their site, Brown George Ross and Dickhead provides a recording of a conversation between one of the plaintiffs. And this was, Chris Knight of Glitter Bomb TV and a YouTube advertising representative who told him that they wouldn't accept an advertisement for an episode of the show due to shocking content, that was in quotations, which was further explained to mean gay content.
Gay?
Hey.
Hey.
Gay horses. Can I say lispy like Carlos Maza?
You lispy,
my favorite
lispy queer bastard.
Queer. My favorite punching bag in the gay community, Carlos Maza. Definitely not going to get monetized. The lawsuit argues that YouTube uses it restricted mode, not just to block minors from accessing adult content, but to hide away LGBT videos entirely. The lawsuit, much like PragerU complaints, leans heavily on the idea that, because YouTube is such a powerful, dominant online hosting system for videos, it's under an obligation to be viewpoint neutral. And in fact, YouTube claims that they're indeed viewpoint neutral in their moderation. This is from the lawsuit, and a little tidbit. LGBTQ plus plaintiffs understand and support effective but lawful viewpoint neutral content-based regulations on the platform. But that is not how these defendants have been operating. YouTube, during the relevant time period of this lawsuit, asshole, that fucked that one up. Sorry. Defendants have brazenly abandoned YouTube's four freedoms, and they more or less hijacked the community and the mission that defined the community, and by silencing these people. That's the rest of the.
Basically, yeah. And the I know you haven't gone to it yet, but after I read that next little bit about what the four freedoms are, I feel not only are, I feel like YouTube's a bit of a hypocrite in this category. And I'll let you continue on with what the four freedoms are, but strange.
The skinny is even when the people were giving complaints and stuff that the requests and stuff, YouTube just ignored the gays. You know,
The gays.
LGBTQ folks.
Yeah.
I just call them the gays. I'm sorry. The 90s, it was the gays. You didn't have to add extra letters onto something.
Yeah.
You were a lesbian or gay.
Right.
The bi thing, it's a toss up.
Right.
You didn't need look, in the 90s you didn't need a group or an extra letter. Look, the L and G covered you.
Right.
And yeah, you could fuck who you want. I'm sorry, that's bisexual. Back in the 90s, it was like, yeah, I like to fuck guys and girls. That meant...
2 ways.
But you didn't need a fucking group. You just fuck.
Meh.
You didn't even need a parade. Bisexuals didn't even need a parade in the 90s. I mean, look, people respected bisexual people more than gays and lesbians. I said, why in the fuck did you team up when you were like ahead in the ball game?
That's another podcast, I think.
The Lispy Queer Hour. Or the Lispy Bisexual. Because you're a power bottom.
Jesus.
Wait, how many power bottoms do we have here?
Depending,
Sorry, Carlos.
Depending on the chick, ladies.
Carlos wears a wig, and I...
Of course, I'm weird. I like my chicks to be built like dudes. Meaning you like to deadlift and power clean. Don't get the wrong idea.
You like your dudes to wear heavy mascara and blonde wigs.
What the No. No. I like my dudes to be far and away from me.
Nothing, except for in prison. No, I'm just kidding. Back on topic, the four freedoms referenced above are YouTube's own creation: freedom of expression, freedom of opportunity, freedom of information, and freedom to belong. The plaintiffs claim that the restrictions and censorship YouTube has inflicted on the channels violate the company's own standards.
Ding, ding, ding. I mean, really.
And here's the thing. It was like they hire people that are the most sensitive damn people in the world. And I was like, grow some fucking skin.
Well, it's
Fuck.
not. It's,
I mean, it's everywhere. It's Vox.
well,
it's YouTube.
yeah,
it's all these
but
fucking
I would
idiots.
say it's not so much grow some skin as it is callous up what you've already got. See what I mean?
God, I've got fucking leather compared to these people.
Uh-huh.
I'm catching darts, you know. Catching a dart, don't even feel it. Like,
Huh?
oh, I'm sorry, I was standing in front of the dartboard. I thought I felt something, you know.
Whoops.
It's like, fucking Carlos, come on. It's a Vox joke. I'm saying, like, Google, like, half of the fucking space mutants didn't actually work for Google. It was like, Google's the parent company of YouTube. I said, they're fucking assholes, too. Was it Daymore? Ask fucking Daymore and half the people who work for their company. Believe me, they're fucking, I guarantee you, a bunch of useless fucking people. It's like, just make money and shut up. Like, the people I work for, do you think I'm not out changing the world? Fucking cut a check.
Yeah.
Fuck, people. It's easy. Like, we can't hire anybody else. We go to Cal State and hire, limp-wristed liberals. Those fucking idiots. Go to tech school. Go to fucking night school and find some, a guy who got back, fucking ex-con and just got out of prison and learned how to fucking code. Hire that guy. Like, yeah, I'll fix it. I don't give a shit. That's what you're going to hear.
Oh, what was that movie? I think it was the original Bad Boys. And it had, I don't know why this popped in my head. It had the computer hacker. It was, of course, it was Will Smith, Martin Lawrence.
Does it count the glasses?
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes!
I was like, fuck. I mean, and you wonder why you've got these assholes that work for these companies. Like, fuck people. And they're just limp wrist. These isn't the best and the brightest. I was like, make good shit and shut up. Don't make it a fucking game. Don't make it like, well, we've got social, we've got, we have the social power here. I'm like, make fucking goods and services.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's like Flynn's dirty DVD store, and it's just like, I don't care. We'll fucking sell it. That's against your beliefs. I'll fucking sell it anyway. I'll make money. Learn how to make money. Shit. It's like you people need an MBA in the real world,
Maybe.
It's unfair. Fuck you. It's fucking
It's
fair.
life.
Isn't
What's
fair.
fair about life?
Prostate cancer, getting fired 3 or 4 times. Name it. Surgeries.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fucking idiots.
Birth defects.
Well, I couldn't afford avocado toast because my rent is $3,000 a month.
Avocado toast. Is that a thing?
Yes.
That's a real thing.
Yep. And people pay a lot of money for it because they're fucking idiots.
We are in the wrong business.
I work for a startup and we're gonna have an IPO, and I'm like, and we're like socially conscious. I'm like, why don't you just get fucked by a flagpole? Back to our article.
Are you sure?
Yeah. The LGBTQ plus plaintiffs strongly support the right of free speech and expression for all community members. That right does not extend to defendants' promotion of anti-LGBTQ plus hate speech, because we keep adding letters, speech which also violates defendants' own purportedly neutral content-based rules, especially when defendants unlawfully use those rules as a pretext to censor, restrain, demonetize, silence, and squelch the engagement and distribution of LGBTQ plus video content or viewership. Such actions unlawfully interfere with the express rights of LGBTQ plus community, you like that? Members, because we keep adding letters, to protect themselves by speaking out against hate and homophobia on a level playing field, as provided by defendants' representations and warranties that rules apply equally to all on YouTube. This paragraph seems a bit confusing and muddled. If YouTube were a neutral platform, it wouldn't be censoring anti-LGBT ads, thank you, or deleting comments that these plaintiffs deem to be hate speech, thank you. The argument seems to be that by censoring their videos, but not the hate speech, they're at a disadvantage.
Well,
I said,
you got one more little section. I'll wait for that to get done, and then I'll spew.
I was like, he's a full rager. It's 8,990.
I might have a full range, but I'm muffless. I am muffless.
Hey man, it's 70s. It's 70s pouring around here. Gotta have a muff. All over the place. You're welcome. The reality is that YouTube is providing a hosting platform so large that there are going to be mishaps and confusion in applying its ultimately subjective regulations. This new lawsuit has entire sections devoted to explaining how YouTube restricted a video because of an appearance of a man's bare butt, but did not do so at a more popular channel under the same circumstances. Does that sound more like intentional discrimination against LGBTQ, or the results of well-meaning humans and crude algorithms trying to enforce a shifting set of loosely defined content standards? And if federal lawmakers had their way, how many bare butts and kink explainers do you think you'd see on YouTube? Prager's lawsuit is completely misguided, and so is this one. If it succeeds, it will likely lead to more censorship on YouTube's platform. Tech companies that host user-generated content will be less vibrant and less diverse if they have to cater to everyone, a category that includes powerful government leaders who have their own ideas about what messages must be allowed and what must be censored.
I think the thing that bugs the holy fuck out of me is the whole oxymoronic thing about it. Because you've got people saying content this, content that, should have been censored, yada, 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 should not have been censored. I go back to that part when it's talking about the four freedoms. It seems like it's just violating their own company policy. I don't understand it. I think, honestly, it's what happens when you care too much about people's feelings. and you let that get in the way of everything else.
All right. People want to. I mentioned this earlier to General Patrick Flynn here. One of the biggest determinants why I think you got to keep the government out of it. These people are wrong, including Mr. Prager, who I hear him on the radio, by the way. Hit and miss on his show. But I actually encourage the LGBTQ plaintiffs and Mr. Prager's people to do the following, is to take their energy and their effort and put it into YouTube's. They have a competition.
Like
BitChute and PewTube and DLive, and there's so many. There's a couple others. But here's the weirdest thing. When you win, this is penny ante shit. These lawsuits are penny ante. Will not keep YouTube. YouTube is not going to be the dominant platform.
No.
And here's why. When you put your effort in, and Alex Jones is a great example. It's Alex Jones more or less cut off.
Whether you agree with him or not, the guy's got he's a good brand builder and marketer. Yes. Period. Whether you agree with what he says or not.
He has a following, and one of the weirdest things is he went and started his own little outfit. Gavin McInnes has teamed up with a couple people in his little outfit. Now somebody's like, "Well, these aren't big. They're not growing." Well, they are growing. It's just you see all these people breaking off that are content creators.
Yep.
I mentioned Gavin McInnes. We had Owen Benjamin, not as big as some of the others, but here's the thing: a following, and he takes these people with him. You make them disappear. He takes the people with him. And yes, some of us are starting to see that we're not, our content that we like is not being supported by YouTube. And they're like,
yeah, I mean,
where do we go?
It's look at you could even go for if you don't want to get real political or whatever, just look at Robert Frank. None of his new stuff is on YouTube. It's all on Instagram and other things like that. So there are outlets. You just got to play.
And here's the thing. When you have enough of a following and I guess you can reach out to people that want to watch YouTube. And this is a hint. It's one time when I start talking to the camera here. I was like, talk with me, Pat. It says, you people easily, these are the big content creators. You start supporting, just like what I said Peter Thiel did, but start supporting businesses other than YouTube in the Google brand, and watch them squirm. You find these people that are
competition,
the disadvantaged people, and they're the competition. They'll feed with you, they'll work with you. I said, and yes, all these little platforms are they're going to struggle. Some will collapse, but believe me, put your money behind another horse. Find the better horse, and then make a better product. Make a better service, make better customer service, treat your content creators better. It might not be more money, but treat them better. And make it like where you hold up to the idea of free speech. Don't redefine free speech.
And by free speech, we mean 110% free speech, whether you like what they're saying or not. There is no such thing as speech and hate speech. No, it's either free speech or not, or no free speech, period. No middle ground on that one.
Tards, just all out. And the thing is, you easily can collapse. YouTube is bad. It's bad customer service. It's bad for the people making the money. And they're not, I said, stop giving them help. Help somebody else. Lawsuits is free advertising. And you know what? The little chicken shits like Ron Burgundy podcast, the little chicken shits that I guarantee you makeup tutorial sponsored by, Fucktard Cosmetics. The thing is, I said, that's not the money. Believe me, if you really want to talk about, like, there were alt-right people who made money, were making money for YouTube. YouTube made them disappear. The memes disappearing. You had commentators. You had, political interviewers gone. a lot of them. You had social commentary gone, and you're going to start losing money. YouTube will lose money. Here's the thing: don't give them the benefit of a doubt. These lawsuits, it's a sign you need to be moving on. I mean, before the lawsuits.
No,
this stuff is you need to go somewhere
Yeah.
where somebody wants to put up with you and make a weird disappearing hand trick.
But yeah, it's one of those, like you said earlier, a sign that, hey, I don't know if the whole analogy of grass is greener is the right word, but definitely time for competition and more opportunities.
Because when you bet on another horse and you put your, you're putting your ass on the line.
Your sweat equity, for lack of a better word.
Sweat equity. And you're actually putting that effort in and stuff. The fight is worth your battle. Lawsuits are bullshit. Lawsuits benefit lawyers.
This is true. I've often said that the only person that really wins in a lawsuit is the lawyers.
If you're a businessman, do business. There you go. Prager, I know about him on the radio. I know about his history lessons. I know about his social commentary. I think you're missing a big opportunity to move beyond terrestrial radio, where you have FCC telling you what you can say.
The FCC won't let me be.
Old Eminem.
Sorry. I don't even like Eminem.
Spinning
that much.
your rings,
And
driving
I
around
had
the parking
to do it.
lot.
I had to do it, and I don't even like Eminem much.
But the weird thing is, you have to put up with the FCC, and I'll roll with it. I'll roll with it. The thing is, these new platforms, and you support these free speech platforms, free speech TV, things like that. No, I'm not an advertiser. If they want me to advertise, sure. But
We'll take your money.
look, if there's an outfit doing stuff for leftists, I'll freaking do ads for left tube, like left tube, strictly for socialist and let's be queer.
Yeah, but at the same time, that's still not a bad thing because it introduces more competition to the free market.
Yes, and you know what? YouTube, if you're disappointing LGBTQ what have yous, I said,
Make your own Q-tube.
Yeah, QTube, Lispy tube, for people named Carlos, because everything goes back to
the Lispy queers.
Lispy queers. It's sad because I probably have no beef with actual queer people.
No.
And the thing is, I was like, yeah, I like you guys. It's just you just need to get rid of Carlos.
I'll tell you straight up, the only beef I have with any LGBTQ, whatever you want to call it, the only beef I have is the political correctness you want to put around it. If you're a queer, be a queer. If you want to cuddle, be a fag. I don't care. I just don't want to be politically correct about it.
Don't be a victim. Believe me, if you want to win, don't be a victim. If you have you're a part of a victim class like Carlos, the bad thing is you're not going to get ahead and people won't take you serious. Be a person, grow some skin, get in the ball game, and believe me, you'll find out there's plenty of horseshoe mustache bald guys that have no problem with you. And believe me, I'll hold the door for you when you walk out of the grocery store. I'll say hello and ask you how you're doing. It doesn't matter. That's the weird thing.
Because you're fucking human.
I'm a human being. You'd be surprised. I feel like there's some days I'm dying inside, and it doesn't matter who's around me. I'm not condemning you. You're people. You're human beings. And yes, I know that there's gay humans and bi humans, all sorts of humans. But just don't be a victim. I don't like victims. I choose not to be around victims. You can start winning.
Winning.
Hashtag winning. I win here. I win there. I'm by winning. Charlie Sheen, Tiger's blood and Adonis DNA. I'm banging 7-gram rocks. Anyway, folks, yeah, I was like, look, find another tube, make your own, free speech. Believe me, there are alt-right people on different platforms that have been deplatformed off of YouTube and stuff like that that are finding, some level of success, or they're just, you're hanging along, hanging on for dear life. And the weirdest thing is, if you're like Hannity and Combs, Sean Hannity and Alan Combs. Alan Combs is the liberal. Sean Hannity was the conservative. Awesome. Find these guys and you could be the polar opposite of these people. But it's a business game. Get in with them. Believe me, laugh. Enjoy your bank. And be that voice for your fucking movement. And the thing is, it'll be hilarious.
It really would. Could you imagine if we were actually the voice of some people?
Well, all 14 followers.
That would be a bowel movement, wouldn't it?
Formerly known as the shit. Advanced bowel movements, yes sir. Oh fuck me. Any final words?
Like I said earlier, it kind of drives home the libertarian principle of free markets and competition. And this is just another case of when more competition would be better, because if people got demonetized to a point, well, they could just move easily to another medium. It's not there yet. It's like YouTube has got the cornerstone in the market. But it doesn't have to be that way. People just think it does. Does that make sense?
Yes, but I do encourage people to early adopt.
Yeah, it's just...
Put your ass on the line. You're not going to lose that much. And you know what? You can put...
But even if you do, you take that experience, you learn from it, and you grow, and you move it to something else.
You're damn right.
That's just the way it is. And the other thing, you could talk about conservative, LGBT, whatever. I think what really bugs people the most is putting all this PC stuff behind it. Be who you are and let that be it. If somebody, cracks a joke, or not even and you don't take it as a joke, but you come across with thick skin and you don't let it offend you, people will respect that. It's just a matter of getting the PC out of your system and growing and callousing over the skin you have. Period.
Believe me, you could crack bald jokes. You could crack, stupid Southern honky jokes.
Hell, I've got cerebral palsy, and I always say, once you go gimp, I will be your pimp.
The
Period.
Pimp.
Go with it. Roll with it. Just don't let it offend, worry about your feelings so fucking much. That's what pisses the majority of people, at least the majority of people I know, off. It's not so much that you are gay, it's just that you're touchy about it.
Look, you're not going to believe I would say this, but you're able to break, like we finally got rid of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. You're allowed to be in the military. You're allowed to be gay. You're allowed to be a lesbian. The vast majority of places you can work, they don't care. Look, most people don't really care. And the thing is, they want you to make your money, and they don't want to kick you in the back of the knee.
Well,
but the thing is, to be the best representative is to be your best representative. The same reason people don't want to see me whine. They'll call me a fucking crybaby. And you know what? It doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, get by, what have you. Win here, win there, by winning. But don't be a by loser. Lose here, lose there.
Hello there.
Be a winner. Hey, be a representative or an ambassador to your side. And believe me, as I've said before, plenty of people, just a handful of people I've run into from the gay community, people that I hold dear to my heart, and the people I care about. And the thing is, just be a rep, man. Be good. Just whatever, man.
Do and be.
Do, be.
Boom.
I remember that.
There's your wrap around. Boom.
Be.
Now close this shit.
Love one another as you would want them to love you. I said, spread blessings when possible.
Spray it like you're back in high school.
Hey, this has been an extra Lispy edition of the Free Map Podcast. As always, feel free to subscribe.
Hit that bell.
Hit the bell. Notification. Should have a Gmail account address for hate mail. There's a Twitter, obviously on BitChute and Gab. But hit me up. See ya.
Hate you, love you, hate you. See ya.
Bye.